and guys, I take this opportunity to welcome you to our computer training. This is Denmark. Denmark is DHG computer training packages. In this tutorial, we'll be learning some of essential computer applications that are used in day-to-day activities. Then the can I'll be taking you through the same, and without further ado, let us get started. First of all, there are some questions which we need to ask ourselves before we consider taking or undergoing this course. The first one is, what exactly do we mean by a computer? What are the components of the computer? What makes up a computer? From my definition, it is very simple that computer is an electronic device that is designed to accept data as input and process it to information as output. So computer is anything that will electronically, first of all, it is electronic, meaning that it uses electricity, and then it should accept data as input and then process it to information as output. That is point number one you have to know. So the key things here are that a computer is an electronic device. Why? Because it uses electricity. Then why or what other attribute do we give to a computer? It accepts data as input. You have to input data and then process it to information as output. What does that mean? When we are entering data into the computer, you cannot see the data, but what we see is the processed information. For example, on my keyboard, if I start typing the word, for example, done, if I'm typing done, I cannot see the D going into the computer, but I'll see the output, the response that the computer gives. Now, another word is data. So data is any raw fact or figures that are meaningless to the user for decision making. Data is anything that just exists as idea to the computer. Anything that the user cannot use to make decision is what we are calling data. And then information is the opposite. It is the already processed or refined product that can be used for decision making. In other words, information is the processed or refined data. Now, let us still proceed and understand what are some of the features or characteristics or qualities of a computer can we say. Number one, it is automatic. It means that after the computer has been commanded to perform its task, it requires minimal human intervention. For example, when you are downloading something from online, you just need to command your computer or your phone to download. You don't need to cool down the video from the web. So that is what we are calling automatic. That means that it can work with minimal human intervention. That is, it is not the work of a user to interact or to force the computer to do or perform a given task. Number two, it is a data processor. Remember, we said that it processes data to information, and that is what is repeated here. Then we have it is electronic, can be equated to household appliances such as TV. In other words, it uses electricity. That is the best term which you can use. Number four, it is accuracy. Since they are programmed devices, the writing of the instruction will repeatedly recur. Then we can see that computer does not give any errors. Most of the errors that you see in computers, they are as a result of human error. That is either human error or a syntax error. So what we are trying to explain here is just to say a computer does not make any error unless error that has occurred just due to or as a result of human error. Remember, human error can be caused by many things, maybe boredom, tiredness, and the rest. Then efficiency. Compared to any other machine, computer will utilize time and efforts to achieve high results. That is good, and the truth, of course. Then we have secrecy, use of passwords. Yes, everybody has to secure his or her own computer, including your phone. Then versatile. Computers are multi-purpose, that they are compatible to accommodate and operate devices of different technologies. E.g., you can watch TV on a computer. You can also do games on computer. You see, computer can help you do many things. You can browse, you can Google anything that you need. You can also upload, you can call your friend via email and the others. Other characteristics that we need to know, we have power of remembering. We say that computer has that mentality or mind of remembering what it has and where it has placed it. If for example you save a file from 2005 from the same computer, the same file can be retrieved even 20 years and then it will be there. The computer will remember where exactly it placed the file. Then no IQ, it does only what it is programmed to do. The computer will only do what it was programmed to do. It will not do anything else. Then speed, yes, it has the capability of doing something with high speed. Then reliability. We have also diligence, that is, it can do or perform many tasks repetitively without getting tired, just like human beings. We have consistency also explained. Now, from there we need to see what are the advantages and the disadvantages of a computer. The first advantage is easier file system in an office. Now, it helps to minimize storage space. If you can imagine having a big room where you store your files, you only need one computer to occupy the same files. So that is what we are talking about, using the file system in the office. You don't need to sort anything manually, you just sort them automatically in the computer. So it helps in that. Speed, we talked of that the other time. Now, enhances communication. You can communicate to your friend from abroad, from anywhere. In fact, it has made the world to be a global village. That is, you can communicate with anybody anytime you need. We have enhances business. Think of e-business. Nowadays, you just do some business of Amazon. You can have Kilimall, Jumia. You can purchase anything online and then just have it delivered to your doorstep. So that is the work of computer. Enhances education through e-learning. For example, what we are doing, it is e-learning and e-teaching. Virtually, you just learn virtually. The teacher is not there, but at least you can access the materials and get to understand. Enhances industrial production through computer-aided manufacturer, that is CAM. When you go to the most good and best vehicles in the world, talk of, for example, a company like Tesla, it uses robots to produce its vehicles and artificial intelligence. That is the work of a computer. So it enhances industrial production. Then it enhances entertainment. You can have songs from YouTube, you can record yourself dancing and the others. Then create self-employment. For example, if you have a cyber, you can run your own cyber with the knowledge of computer. Let us jump into the disadvantages of a computer. Number one, it is expensive to purchase. Yes, computers are very expensive. It cuts down on employment. Now, if you look or see any company that has been employing people to do manual work and then they computerize everything, then those people or some of the people gets unemployed from the same company. Then computer needs experts and skills to operate and maintain. That is true. It needs somebody who has the skills and knowledge to operate. Then we have health hazards like backache, I said. Then we also have obesity as one of health hazard. Just because this person stays to the computer for long hours, it can cause this. Then volatile, in case the computer lose or operating system crashes, then you lose a lot of data, huge and crucial information from your computer. They get lost because the operating system has crashed. Then sensitivity to dust, humidity, heat and water. Those are things that you should keep your computer off from. Then addictive, especially in games and chatting. We know even from our phones, we are addicted to chatting and playing games. Most computers need electrical power. Remember, we said that it is electronic, so it needs electrical power. So it may not be used very well in places where they don't have electricity. Then computer have encouraged laziness due to over-reliance. Now, in these, we get to see people who rely mostly on computers. Everything that you do, to an extent, some calculations, you just take your phone and do, and you can do them manually from your mind. So it has encouraged laziness. People, instead of doing their work, they can just copy paste other people's work. That is, they just get lazy and then they do what they are not supposed to do. Now we go to classification of computers. Computers are classified into three. One of the classification is according to functionality. The second one is according to purpose. What purpose does it serve? Then the third one and the last is the according to physical size. How big does this computer look like when you see it according to the physical size? So according to functionality, computers are categorized into three. We have analog computers, digital computer, and then hybrid computers. When you talk about analog, these computers deal with analog data. That is data which is continuously and progressively changes value over time. For example, we have the wind, we have the rainfall, amount of sunshine. They change over time. They are not static. But digital computers, these are computers that handle digital data. In other words, we say that it contains discrete data. That means the data can be represented in distinctive values. If you have, for example, if it is 10, it is 10. If you can just have it as 12, 13 distinct characters or values. Then from there we have hybrid computers. These they can perform both analog and digital data. Then according to purpose, we have only two. What purpose does it serve? In other words, how many tasks can it perform? We have general purpose and we have special purpose. We'll talk about special purpose is a computer that will only do or perform one task. It cannot perform more than one function or task. But general purpose is a computer that can be used to perform as many tasks as there is. More than two or more. That is what we mean by general purpose computers. Now from there we go to classification according to size. The first one is supercomputer. They are biggest in size, then they are fastest in terms of speed. They are most powerful. Then they perform tasks at a particular nanosecond. You can imagine just by a blink of an eye it has just completed everything. Then they are expensive and only a few nations around the world can afford it. In fact, from the statistics I saw that it's only 500 countries that can manage to have these computers. Then they are complex and will be used in computer engineering. Also serve other small computers in complex network. The approximately price of these computers is 15 billion, 25 million and 200,000 Kenyan shillings if you are from Kenya. Then we go to number 2 according to size. Remember, we are starting from the largest to the smallest. Mainframe computers, they are also very larger, the second largest, then powerful and expensive but lower than super. They are stationary in the control room. Stationary meaning that they cannot be moved. Then they perform complex mathematical calculation. They have very large storage capacity, can support number of peripherals. When you talk about peripheral, is simply input and output devices. Peripheral means input and output devices. Then they require a number of people to operate it. Then they are deal in banks, airports, government agencies and large organizations. Approximated price is 9,888,750 Kenyan shillings. From there we go to mini computers. Mini computers, they are downscaled version of mainframe computers and have less speed and fewer peripherals, less powerful, etc. That it can support just a number of users. So we go to microcomputers. Microcomputers are the ones which are known. So they consist of relatively small chip and not so complicated. They cause a small silicon chip that analyzes data. They are generally used in day activities in homes, hospitals, schools. We are conversant with this because we've seen them. Number 1 example, we have personal computers operated by one person. For most of its peripherals are single. We have e.g. the CPU, keyboard and etc. They are usually placed on the top of a desktop when operating. That is why they are called desktop computers. Then Roman 2 or example number 2, we have the laptop or notebook. Laptop also comes from the word lab, where they are placed when operating. Then they are used by managers and then journalists, the researchers, etc. Then we have palm tops or PDAs. These are tiny pocket computers usually placed on the palm when operating. In most cases, they are incorporated into mobile phones and are ideal for business executive. And that one, guys, calls us to the last or end of our tutorial. Is there any question? If there is, let me know from the comment section, and then I'll get back to you and answer or give answer to your question. Thank you, and kindly don't forget to subscribe.